So first, who are we talking to right now?
Hey guys, I'm Chef Brandon of Lynn Chicago Pizza and Aja Urban Italian.
Okay. And so how did you start? How did you get started as a chef?
Honestly, cooking had really been an accident. If you would have told me at 17, 18, I'm gonna be a chef, I'm gonna own a restaurant, I'd be like, no, go fuck yourself. I'm sorry, excuse my language.
No, you good.
Should I do it over?
No, you good.
So I would have been like, pretty much just like kind of go fuck yourself. I'm gonna be writing for GQ, I'm gonna write for ESPN, I'm gonna be at Diddy parties. I plan on being at all the Diddy parties, ain't no shame in that. I don't know what the back room situation, but the front room situation to me was the most important part. Now maybe the back room might have been interested in, who knows, but that's here nor there. So getting into cooking was an accident. I started Weber Grill as a host, just trying to make some money. Just had 3 kids before 25. And it was I need work, I'm trying to go to school, trying to go to work, trying to figure out just how to be a 20-year-old with real life not just any responsibilities, but life responsibilities. And it kind of snowballed into getting more interested into I like the chaos. It was I like this, I like the energy, I like what's happening. And so what ended up happening was, went to culinary school. So South Shore Restaurant Group is the name of our company. And what it is it makes it easy for us to do other concepts without starting a whole new business. Well, every time you do a business, you got to get an LLC. So all we have to do is keep building on that. So that's our umbrella. Our first concept is Lynn Chicago Pizza, which we're in right now, and Aja Urban Italian. We're also working on other concepts that we're just in a process of just putting the framework together. But it's just me and my partner Lynn. So this is what it is right now. And it's just a goal is to build a restaurant. The goal is to have multiple restaurants and with different concepts. So we're not pigeonholed to just being a pizza place or a pasta place. And
so what all type of cuisine are you looking to deal with as far as different restaurants and stuff? Now, I know you mentioned Italian. I know you got Lynn Chicago Pizza. What all did you want to work with?
I can do anything. It's just that thing. So I worked long enough, worked with so many plenty of shops all over the country. When I tell people I can literally make anything, I literally can make anything I want at any time I want. No matter how broad. It's you know what? Let me go back up. Ramen, Japanese ramen. I haven't really touched on that yet. Something I'm passionate about, but that's something I want to really have the resources to really go deeper into. It means I want to spend time in Japan and eat all these ramen shops and learn. I have good ramen shops here, but it's not the same. So there's not much I can do in the kitchen, and there's not much. I surround myself with other people who have certain skill sets as well. So I know when we are at a position to open something different, I know I can go call Maria, who's going to help teach my team how to make, our tortillas, because I pride myself on being able to make things from scratch. We don't really buy a lot of stuff pre-made. What we do is we take an item, we break it down, fabricate it, and we create a dish. If I wanted to go to the store and just pop open a can and throw it in a hot box or whatever, then there's no reason for me to went through all what I had to go through to get this experience at the end of the day. So, and that's the whole idea, is to build great restaurants, black-owned restaurants, but it's not just our typical soul food, fried food, barbecue stuff. Barbecue's great, don't get me wrong, but it's one of those. Every time you see a black chef, and then every black chef around the world tells you the same thing, they automatically assume soul food, or they automatically assume fried food.
Right.
But there's so many talented black chefs that do multiple things. I was just having dinner with James Martin at Bocadillo Market. He's in love with the Spaniard cuisine. So Bocadillo Market was one of the best restaurants in Chicago in 2022 in Esquire magazine. So I wanted to align myself with people with that mindset that we are not just soul food or fried food.
Right.
And that fact that, yes, I am a black man that makes Italian food. I make some of the best pizzas in Chicago right now. So it's one of those type of situations where you try to bring talent and try to bring people together and see who else wants to work on projects that's bigger than what the stereotypical black chef is supposed to be doing. This was a great conversation we actually had. We were a bunch of black chefs we just had on Monday too. We had that same conversation.
I can relate because even like with my platform, you see a lot of people that do what I do. They focus more on just rappers and musicians and like dudes is in the street. And like you say, I'm interviewing you. I want to be able to do like politicians. I want to do business owners. I want to be able to do artists, like, you know what I'm saying, painters and stuff like
because
that.
Because it keeps you diverse, and when you have those type of things, like, hey, now when they even look at you as an interviewer, podcaster, creator, content creator, it doesn't go, oh, he's just a rap. It's like, oh, this guy he interviews, his questions are dictated based on the subject matter. That it gives you a platform that's bigger. Because guess what? We can do 100,000 rappers.
And not only that,
you know, it's like,
when you black, it's easy for people to put you in a box.
Exactly.
Like when you see somebody that's black with a camera, you automatically think, oh, you deal with rappers. And then not only just rappers, a lot of times, especially in Chicago, when you see somebody black with a camera, you like, all right, they deal with drill rappers. Like I'm 32. I don't even like listen to drill outside of when I'm working out or something like that.
I don't even know what drill is. I'm not gonna lie to you.
it's like Chief Keef and stuff like that. Like I heard him. So yeah. So you know what I'm saying? Like and then it's also a lot more money when you diversify yourself as well too.
Portfolio.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Now I know I can call you and I can get something else. So you know when people call me, someone call me about doing Jamaican jerk patties. I'm like Jamaican beef patties. I'm sorry, not Jamaican. But I'm like, I can do that. Well, why can I do that? Because a lot of the principles and techniques are similar to anything else. It's great meat, great dough, making a good dough. You know, getting the flow right, making the flavors hit. So it's like it's not far fetched. But that's someone calling me and they know because I make bread, I make pizza doughs. Of course, I can make the dough for a patty.
Right.
You know, so it's like it's not out of our wheelhouse, but it gives me that openness to people can call me about something random as that.
So South Shore Restaurant Group, expand on that a little bit more. Like who's a part of it? Why did it start? When did it start? And what's the final result that you looking for with it?
Well, I mean, we South Shore Restaurant Group is the name of our company.
Okay.
Everything else is a DBA. So Lynch Chicago Pizza is a DBA under that. So it's one company, and then every project is under that. So that's how you're able to not deal with, as you know, when you're doing business, you know, DBAs make it easier for you not to keep doing the same process over and over. So now we have an LLC, that's South Shore Restaurant Group. Now I want to do Lynn's Tacos, I just get a DBA under the same business. And I don't have to worry about the whole.
So it's like an umbrella?
Pretty much, that's the umbrella. So our first concept is Lynn's Chicago Pizza. Second concept is Aja Urban Italian. The next concept is probably going to be Lynn's Tacos. I've
seen some stuff on your menu and even like how you prepare certain pieces and stuff. I'm like, I didn't even think about even putting that together. I'm a basic guy when it comes to pizza. I like just.
And most people are.
Yeah, I like just pepperoni, mushrooms. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Those are classic toppings. But like right now, like our oxtail pizza is. It's such a hot commodity where I don't even do the oxtail pizza like that. I do it now. I do it twice a month.
Right.
But then this place is packed. For a pizza they can only get if you miss it.
That's not even something that you think about.
No.
So you know what I'm saying?
I was inspired by the guys who were in New York, Cuts and Slices. I was, you know, as I'm doing research on pizza and looking for more black pizzeria owners and pizziolos. That was when I come in, I'm like, oh they in New York. I'm looking in Chicago. Ain't nobody touch on this. So now, and like just the process, like when I think about even. You say pizza, but everything we do here, it has what I like to call urban Italian, because there's not just tomatoes, garlic, and cheese. It's the sauce is intricate. We use dry Mexican chilies to season most of our meats, and you know we use miso in some of our soups. So it's a lot of different cultures because Chicago is a cultural city and has different pockets and different. So when I think urban, I don't think just. When we think of words like urban, we always think of us as black. But being urban just means being in the city. That's just a city term. There's a big countryside, urban. So, you don't assume countryside is just Mexicans. You just think it's country.
Right.
You know, so ideally, that's why I came up with that. And I think myself and Lynn, we try to play on those ideas and influences because that makes a different product. So you're not eating a pizza that's just like, oh yeah, I can just get this anywhere. No, people would literally go, oh, you might have the best pizza right now in the city. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's what I said too. But then they hear it, they have confirmation from the thousands of people already that's been in these doors, and I think it's been kind of cool. And then to see that, oh my God, this is my work, this is something I've talked about, and able to finally put it out there into the world to a different degree on my own accord. Being a chef in restaurants, if you don't own it, it's pretty much what this person wants. I don't care if you're the owner, you could be the best chef in the country, but if you go work for someone else in their restaurant, hey, we know you're the best. And it's very few chefs that get that, do what you want.
Right.
Not being an owner. Very handful, like small, minuscule amount of chefs can get that, hey, here's my restaurant, you're the chef, do whatever you want, just make us some money. Now, it's usually, here's my restaurant, here's what we established, this is what we want, we need to execute that efficiently and make us money. So having the ability to do whatever I want, it's been kind of fun, also kind of like scary too, because there's so much freedom, because now having those restraints, understanding this has to be done, but also having the restraints to know that if I fail, my life is pretty much, not hate to say over, but I don't have anything. Everything I have now is in this.
Right. Trust me, I can relate. I can relate personally. So you say you're from Chicago, right?
I'm from this neighborhood, Woodlawn. My restaurant.
Yeah.
So I live in this neighborhood now. I grew up in the neighborhood, moved back, now we opened a restaurant in the neighborhood. I'm like, that's crazy, because the best thing about it is I didn't realize how many classmates from all the schools actually still they stayed or they left and came back as well, or bought houses. I'm seeing my classmates from 6th grade coming into my restaurant, high-fiving me, like, oh man, I thought you moved to so-and-so. I'm like, yeah, where do you live now? I say, King Drive. Like, really? One of the apartments I grew up is right 2 blocks away from this restaurant right now.
Oh, wow.
So it's just, I'm in a Woodlawn community in Chicago, so it's one of those things where I'm kind of glad to be here, but now that I'm back, now I have this opportunity. My goal is to build a restaurant group and restaurant concepts in this community that make it appealing, that live in this community. It makes it appealing. If you're going to be a student at university, and you're like, man, I can go get a good pizza, or we can go get tacos. We don't got to go to Hyde Park. If you're a person that who live in a community,
right.
You can leave your apartment, walk around the corner, and go have brunch on the patio. Patio that's about to get open, so it's like the goal is the concept to build those same concepts that we get dressed up for.
Right.
You say get dressed up. I mean, get not dressed up, but you gotta put your shoes on. You gotta put something nice on. Go, babe, going to River North. Oh, they got this. We're gonna go to the Delta. I love the Delta. Don't get me wrong, but it's like I don't need to go to Wicker Park if I can create that same atmosphere here. There's a lot of working with partnerships with the community to make that happen, but that's the goal.
So, growing up, you never thought about what was your original aspiration? Like, was it like music or sports or something like that?
Wasn't music nor sports. I'm not a musician. I played sports. I mean, myself, my brothers and sisters, my kids, we all, we have some type of athletic ability, and we've all exceeded to where we're just like, all right. My son wins state in football and then quits football the next year. They're like, what? Like, I don't get it. As we were getting offers, my brother was a good footballer. My older brother is in the motorcycle racing business as an engineer, former racer, all that good stuff. My sisters were championship cheerleaders. So sports was always around, but ideally, I hate to sound like this, but it was one of those things as growing up, it was like, I could do so much, I didn't know what I can do. So my goal was just to maybe just be a journalist. I went to school for journalism, so I'm like, I'm gonna be a writer. I hang out with athletes. I hang out with musicians. I work at a record store, and I go to so it's like things like that. So I'm like, I can go write for The Source. I can go write for ESPN. I'm not gonna work for no one. Just be freelance, and they get to hang out at Diddy parties. That was it. That was my old mindset. It's like I went to New York. Hang out with the Knicks. I'm the big Knicks fan. I know the Bulls was doing their thing. I'm one of those people I gotta go against the grain. I think I really became a big Bulls fan when Dennis Rodman got here, because I love the differentness. I was like, okay, this guy's different. I followed NBA for a long time, so I knew what's up. But I think I really didn't have a clear focus of what I wanted to do. It wasn't every one of those kids like, I'm gonna do this. 1 minute I want to be an actor. 1 minute I want to be an astronaut. 1 minute I want to be an archaeologist. I didn't really know, so it kind of was just glad that something fell and stuck. and because I definitely gonna be out there like, oh, you know, I definitely can promise you I would have been that guy.
Yeah. So, all right. So, how long did you go to school to be a chef?
Program was a Cordon Bleu chic program. It was about maybe a year and a half, maybe. I don't remember. It wasn't a long program at all. It wasn't one of those year programs. It was literally probably like maybe a year long.
Okay. And so the average chef, not yeah. So if I was to go to school to be a chef, right? I did my year. How much money will I make in the first year? Then how much yearly does the most the average chef make?
So how it works is you don't just like go to this school and then you go apply for a chef job. That ain't gonna happen unless your parents buy you a restaurant. You have to start as a cook. Some places make you start as a prep cook. Some places might even make you prep cook / dishwasher because there's no way you're gonna leap jump those guys on the line cooking the food to management. Impossible. And if you do, you are juiced from the get-go. And most people will tell you right now, first thing a chef tells you when you're in an interview, you went to culinary school, that's great. But what did you do at your last job? What stations did you work? No one cares about culinary school because culinary school gives you ideas, but the actual practical of working in a restaurant comes from working in a restaurant. So you'll see like a lot of people who do go to culinary school, they'll jump and say, I'm gonna do catering, and then but never really understand the things that go into all those different aspects of this business. So yeah, it sounds like easy though because I don't want to work, but it depends on how you want your career to go. If you're like myself, I'm a restaurant person. I'm not a caterer, but I respect what they do. But even the people who work in catering have to be a cook for that catering company before they can just jump to I can be a caterer. They need to know how to plan. They need to know how to pack. They need to know how to store, how to do inventory because catering is different. And the same thing with restaurants. Each restaurant has different stations depending on what type of restaurant. The majority of restaurants have 4 stations. That's going to be salad, hot apps, saute, which sometimes can be hot apps, and grill. And if you don't master those 4 stations, you don't go anywhere. And some people get to one of those stations and are like, most guys, and there's people who just want to be really good cooks. But if you're saying you want to use the title chef, you have to know how to do everything in a restaurant. Everything. There's nothing you cannot know. Because if you have a cook that can do a salad better than you, you're not going to get their respect. If the grill man can out-temp you, out-cook you, you will have no respect. As a manager, you will not have those people respect because in their mind they know they're better than you. So ideally, if you're saying you're a chef, that means you can, like myself, and I don't care how boisterous it sounds, I don't care what restaurant I'm in the world. In the world, you can take from a down regular mom and pop place in India, a fine dining place in London, a pasta place in Italy, a soul food place in Atlanta, a barbecue place in Texas. If I walk in those kitchens, I'm going to be able to get down with those cooks. And they're going to see why I was given that position of chef. No matter where I go in the world. And that's one thing I tell people about this job. I know, I was like, if you learn how to be a cook first, you can get a job anywhere in the world.
Makes sense.
Anywhere in the world. If I did not have a job right now, I'll tell you really quick to go backwards. Pandemic. I get my first CDC job. CDC is chef de cuisine. So they're like kind of like executive chef-ish. Because the executive chef is probably like big time, so he kind of does more stuff. But like you're like the guy who runs the restaurant. Pandemic. I only had the job for a month, so now I don't get no unemployment. I barely had it for a month, bro. Don't get unemployment. I don't get anything. I just get canned. A couple months later, I'm in Myrtle Beach working at Waffle House. And the reason, and I say that because that's my skills. I don't have a job. Waffle House is hiring. I'm gonna go fucking make waffles and smothered cover. I call it a day. And people were not only were there, a lot of people were good workers. Those restaurants, they're not trying to cook. That's a job for a lot of those people.
Right.
And to have someone in there. People think it's a joke. They're like, oh, I worked at Waffle House and Harold's Chicken that year. And the only reason I went to Myrtle Beach because someone had a chef job for me, and I was like, I went out there, it didn't work out, and I still stuck out there, so I had to It's about life.
So it's basically like a profession to where, like, once you pretty much get your feet in and stuff, you'll always be able to feed yourself. Like, you'll always have
Anytime I want, I can go get. If I need to feed myself, I don't need a chef job because with my skill sets, you're going to still pay me the highest amount. My experience, you're not going to pay me. Oh, I'm going to give you 18. If I need it, I'll take it. But when you talk to me and see how I move, you're going to give me the highest amount. You're like, this is something I want to try to keep around. Not knowing this is just something for me to just stay alive. Right. So like I tell people who work for me all the time, if you learn what I know, I can promise you'll never be broke. Or you'll never go hungry. Because no matter if you are a bum, anywhere, if you need it, listen, I lived in my car and cooked at a restaurant with a salary. Till I found out money up to get a place. So I know, like, this is not like, it's gonna be crazy when I have this final story and when you see the final chapter, and they're like, yo, I get it. When people say, man, I just live in my car, I get it. Even now they're actors or they're famous or successful, but I get it. And so hopefully I had that moment where I'm like, damn, I did live in my car. I did sleep on the beach. I slept in a restaurant when everyone left. Like, I never told people that. I literally went, everybody go home, everybody clean up. Cool. I went in the private dining room, got my stuff under the table long enough I can hear people come in just in case I can't go. And by the time the breakfast team gets there, I was kind of like on my way to the gym to go work out in the shower. Back in my shift.
I feel that.
So like that was like but knowing but I had a paycheck. I didn't have a place to live. So I could live with one, like have both at that time, but at least I had one that could get me to the other.
Right.
Instead of sitting here, man, I don't got no place to live, I got no job. No. So I always tell you, if you want to work for me, I can promise you, I'll make sure you got the skill sets to always have a job. Whatever you do it is up to you.
Yeah, it makes sense. You basically teach a man how to fish.
Pretty much, yeah, I like that. Yeah.
So back to what you said earlier about having multiple restaurants and stuff. What are some ways that you initially got enough funding in order to open up where you're at right now?
We did not. I didn't really understand how this credit game and business goes, but my partner, she was able to secure us a loan. We were fortunate for this space to already be pretty much have everything here. Like if we didn't have all the equipment that was here, all the tables and stuff like that, we would never done it. Because that project alone right there would have been 100K. So we were able to get in here with 20, and thanks to community who had the space, they had it, and they were like trying to get someone in here, and we just happened to have the product. We happen to have structure already in place in our minds, and having experience. It wasn't just someone said I can cook, or I'm gonna try to go open a restaurant, but everyone thinks I make the best such. No, we came with plans, skill sets, systems in place, or things are just like and it made it easy. But like having stuff here, tables, chairs, we bought decorations, we bought a couple of equipment. The most we spent was our pizza oven, and that was $15,000. And then the rest was so that was a fortunate thing, which not everyone's gonna get that opportunity. So, but hopefully, as we grow, I can make sure I can create another opportunity for someone else to get off the ground. So I'm always gonna be thankful that I was able to have this space and my neighborhood that I grew up in, and I was able to now get my vision off the ground. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I've always had the idea of doing my Aja is my restaurant concept that I had in my head years. I'll tell you, my friends talk about it. Anyone tell me, I just want to cook whatever I want and whatever at the table. I don't care who show up. I want you to show up. I want the president of so-and-so to show up. And y'all just sitting like, and making myself a common denominator because why are you here? Because I invited you. And now it's like a whole different table. I call it guess who's coming to dinner. And because I don't know who's going to come. I don't know who's going to take every day. I don't know who's going to pay for a ticket. But ideally, you don't even know who you're going to sit next to. You don't know who you're talking, you're rubbing, you're bumping, this guy's a CEO. I had people at dinner, and a good buddy of mine, this guy's a tech millionaire. But he looked like he's one of us. He looked like us. He came in swaggy, and I'm like, and it's this guy over here owns 4 restaurants. This person over here, so it's like that's the goal.
Bringing people together.
Yeah, I love it, and I think food automatically brings people together. But to see that I can bring people together and I can put out my work. That's the goal, and being able to consistently put out different work, different ideas. And again, my buddy, a chef friend of mine, hit me up a couple days ago. I want to do sandwiches. I'm like, cool. Like, I'm not open really in the daytime. If you want to get your CD, pop off, see if something pop off, go ahead. Let's work together. We'll pop it off. We'll get the marketing and help us build it. And if you end up popping off and getting your own, I feel like, damn, I was part of helping you get that off.
Yeah. It also brings more foot traffic too, and awareness to what you got going on. So it helps multiple people.
And a lot of times when we're in these environments as chefs or cooks and other people's restaurants, we all have ideas and we all want to be able to do it, but we know we have the constraints of understanding that this ain't our place.
Yeah.
If I want to get paid on time, I need to do what this motherfucker tell me to do.
Yeah.
So now that I can be in a position where a motherfucker want to come and work on a project and pop off, and come on, do you. Let's see how we can make money together. So, and that's pretty much my direction at this point. So like this restaurant group is to build partnerships with other people, and it's to, I can't manage 5-7 different restaurant concepts.
Right.
But if you do sandwiches and you do good sandwiches and we work together, now that you run that, and that's you. That's your restaurant. I'll just take my cut. I'll make sure you got everything you need. You want to do soul food, whatever over here. Cool, we're gonna make it, package it up, and make it elevated so it looks different than what they doing over here. Cool, I'll take my cut, but that's your restaurant. So that's why having a restaurant group is better, where we can build partnership and create opportunities for other people. Right now, it's first things first, make sure Little Chicago Pizza becomes a very profitable and successful concept before we can really put our hand on everybody else. But they gotta see it, but at least everyone can treat it like an incubator, I should say, like a think tank for people, chefs and friends, people want to come work on things.
Right. And so one question I do got that a lot of people might want to know is, so initially, just to start off, how much money altogether would it take did it take you in order to open up Little Chicago Pizza?
Because of this situation is unique only for myself. It's not going to be.
Right.
It's not even commonplace. Only because of the situation of having so much stuff already in place here. So
you pretty much got lucky.
I got lucky.
Yeah,
I got lucky that my partner had the credit. I didn't have the credit.
Right.
I didn't have the credit. She had the credit. She had had built her credit, and so then now I really know how important credit is.
Yeah, because they do check your personal credit.
We got a personal loan. That wasn't a business loan. You ain't gonna get no business loans from no restaurants. It's unheard of. It's not. They're going to say no every time. Oh, you can get a grant. And when people tell you that, you should probably just walk away from them because that's ignorance.
Yeah.
You can't just go get a grant because even those have stipulations. And again, restaurants is one of those things where the era is so high, no one's making that type of money investment. How are you going to repay me? I'm the bank. How are you going to repay me? So like people who go into this, a lot of times come out of their own money or have family that want to put the money up and believe it with it and figure out how to support it. So like, yeah, I'm gonna give you a number that sounds low, right? I'm gonna say this number that sounds low, and I can tell you it's not realistic.
Right.
It's not. We started with 30,000. That was loans that we are struggling to figure out how to pay off until we get busy.
So if you were to start from scratch, how much would it be?
$250,000. That's for a small place. That's for
makes sense.
1,500, maybe 1,000 800 to 1,500 square foot place. That's 100. That's 250. That's something small like that.
Okay.
So it's literally like what I said. It's an opportunity that is pretty much unheard of.
So basically, what a lot of people, it's trendy for everybody to want to be their own boss and want to be entrepreneurs, but there's a lot of planning.
I'm gonna speak back to you real quick. You know how trendy it was? Everyone assumed if you got an LLC, you had a business. I'm like, nah. That just gives you the right to start applying to become a business. That says you own the name. Now you can apply. No one else has it. It's not. People literally, for a moment, especially during the pandemic, everyone's like, oh, get an LLC. Get an LLC. Did you hear that? And then realize that's just the only way to. So people thought they were really in business.
So for people that are looking into not just starting off restaurants, but just starting off new businesses. Period. What are some things that you could, well, some advice that you can give them so that people don't are a little bit more informed? Because like I said, it is a trend right now.
The best I know is everything. Everything like we just said earlier. Everything sounds good. Be your own boss. Da 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 da. A lot of people have ideas. So like, to be honest, I'm just gonna use what I do for a living. If you are an accountant and you make the best spaghetti in your neighborhood, and everyone's like, "Oh, you should open your own business," but you've never worked in a restaurant, how are you going to succeed against someone who's worked in a restaurant?